Lumos. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and every gender of the jury. This is my third time filming this video, to be very honest with you. I filmed it 2 times before Christmas. 2 times because I didn't like how it turned out the first time around when I filmed it, and so I filmed it again in the same day. And I was happy with it. I edited, I think, half of the video before Christmas, keep in mind. And then I said, okay, for this period of time between Christmas and New Year's, I think I'm just gonna chill, spend time with my family, enjoy. And then on the 2nd, 3rd of January, I can get back to editing and just post and whatever. Yeah, I did do that, except I did so on the 2nd of January for 15 minutes. I started editing, and then I took a little lunch break. Innocent little lunch break. And then I came back to my phone. And for some reason, as I entered the app, every single one of my little pieces of footage was corrupted. So either it was black, absolutely no image with stellar sound, or it was beautiful image, absolutely no sound. So basically what we learn is third time's a charm, right? I hope. Because if not, Happy New Year to all of us. This is how I start mine. Yeah. On another note, sorry for the wait. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. I thought I could do something a little bit more personal without showing you everything around my room. I'm gonna show you my entire book collection because I feel like that speaks enough. Also, I'm gonna be pointing to every single book with this beautiful chopstick. Get acquainted because you're gonna see it a lot. And yeah, I'm doing that because the first time when I filmed, I had to take all of the books out and I realized how tedious that is. Probably not as enjoyable for you either. So yeah, hope you enjoy. I have books all around my room. I'm gonna show you how I organize them mentally, and we're just gonna run through books I like, books I don't like, books I love, and books I purely keep for aesthetic purposes. Sorry, that's kind of the truth sometimes. So I'm gonna start you first off with this whole section, with the section that you cannot see that's up there. It's my old, ancient, crumbling looking books, or books that are in Romanian, but they're not necessarily of Romanian origin. So, yes. You're also going to notice, you're also going to notice this beautiful random section right here, which is horizontal as opposed to everything else. It's books that I have probably received from somebody and I didn't get around to reading, or something like that, along those lines, so they just jump at me whenever I wake up, because I see them, and they bother me visually. Thank you, that was me. So, first off, I'm going to address the tarot decks. I can read tarot. You're gonna see it up as well if I may adjust you just for 2 seconds. Okay, you get the gist. I can read, not very well, okay? So, heads up, if we hang out and I bring them, no, I will probably have to search up some of the meanings. Okay, forgive me. So, I'm gonna start with a little bit of an artsy book that I told myself I'm going to read, but I didn't read. Beautiful. Then I have some literary terminology dictionary that I actually really want to get through this year because it would really help me if I want to go to a master's on literary stuff. So, yeah. This little part I like to call the I wish I would have gotten this in English, but I got it in Romanian, so I'm going to put it here, although it looks in a way that bothers me personally. But very acquired books nonetheless. First off, we have To Kill a Mockingbird right there, and then we have Anna Karenina, The Animal Farm, and Master and Margarita. Good, solid choices on any accounts. Very nice. You know what? I'm gonna take out this book. Not this book. This is a little witch's handbook. Shh. This is a very nice Romanian book of poetry. It's very old looking, and I don't mean to brag, but it's been signed by a rather famous writer in Romania. If you did your baccalaureate exam, you know who this guy is. I'm sorry to have to remind you. Then I've got a little bit of Irving Stone, a little bit of a Vincent van Gogh story for you. Then we go into some art books that I didn't actually get into. You're gonna notice a lot of my art books are not actually touched. Because I want to be that person, but I'm not yet that person. So I have something about Egyptian and Mediterranean ancient art right there, sorry. And then right next to that, I have a painting treaty. I don't know what that's about, okay? Don't judge me. Then I have two books I actually did look through, and they cover they cover the works of, first off, something fell, Leonardo da Vinci. I hit myself in the face just a little bit there. But, yeah, very nice. I really was hoping I wouldn't get to some nude pictures, which is great. So, that's been a love. And again, ancient looking, beautiful. And then, not gonna lie to you, probably one of my favorites for how creepy he is, Francisco Goya. This man, wait, where is it? Give me a second. If you've ever seen Kronos eating his children, that's a fan favorite, me being the fan. But also, where is it? Look, a winged man. Is that Icarus? We don't know. We could know. This is also nice. I think it's a picture with people, and then it's a little goat devil. Regardless, I've looked through it quite a bit. I really love it. Yeah. Then I have a book that has a lot of pictures of the Palace of Versailles. You cannot actually see it, so I'm just gonna draw it out. It's a lot of pictures and some nice writing. It's old. It was my grandma's. It's very nice. Okay? You get it. You get it. This it's mandatory to take out, but this is Legends of Olympus. It's written in Romanian by a Romanian guy, and it looks like it's about to crumble in my hands, which is perfect. Sorry, that was a beautiful sound. Then I have some art history, a little bit, put in a chunky ass book. And then this is more of an emotional pick. It's an atlas of the universe that my dad used to read to me before going to bed. Nice vibes, nice times. Really started the whole thing for me. Going up and looking like I'm 4'11". Back to the tarot cards. You get it. I have a book from Balzac that I never got the Balzac to read. Anyhow, then we have a beautiful, beautiful series by Victor Hugo, or Victor Hugo. How do you say it in French? Whatever. It's Les Miserables, if you want to say it with the English accent, or Le Misérable, if you want to say it with a French accent. I probably butchered the heck out of that. Let's not talk about that. Anyhow, we go into more art history, and we start off strong with a little bit of ancient art history, and then I have two books on some Italian Renaissance little moments. I've actually looked quite a bit through the first book. I haven't gotten to the second one. I would like to actually get to my art talking books, as in paintings and all of that, this year. I'm feeling artistic in a more wide sense of the word. Right. I'm not going to talk about this because it wasn't that great, but it's Romanian literature. Sorry. Another section that I would have wished to get in English, but they still look freaking great, so let's get into it. I've got Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. Let's get on it. Quo Vadis from Sienkiewicz. Very nice, very, very demure. And then I have About Love from Stendhal. I've never heard of that book before, but I saw it in the bookshelf of my grandmother's, and I don't know why I felt curious about it. Some contemporary history that I did not get into from Anatole France. I don't know. Let's not talk about it still. This is a very conspiracy theory book, but it's about secret organizations. I would show it to you, but I feel like, you know? Then I have a little more Romanian literature. I wish I could recommend these. I wish I could say their name and be like, yeah, I like it, but honestly, it's just, they're not always hitting for me. Some do, some do, but mostly they don't. Then I have the Decameron from Boccaccio. Very nice, very nice. Can I just scoot you right there a little bit? Okay. Shakespeare. Come on. Did you not expect me to have Shakespeare right there? And then, actually, you know what? If you ever heard of Mircea Eliade, that guy I can kind of get by. It's little stories of his travels to India. Kind of nice. Not the biggest fan of the guy personally, but who am I a fan of? The Enigmas of the World, of the Earth. Whatever. Didn't get into it. But it's written by a Romanian guy, so it must be something. And then a little bit of universal history. Universal history literature. Might be good. Dracula. Which reminds me, I really want to watch Nosferatu. More Romanian prose, a little bit of literary criticism that I, again, want to get into. This is actually, wait, okay. If you want to read one Romanian book that is really cozy and nice, I am going to recommend to you Cismigiu et Comp from, I forgot his name, I'm sorry. Grigore Bojinaru. I'm gonna put it in the description because whatever the heck I'm saying probably doesn't make sense unless you're Romanian. And after that, this book right here is actually Persian fairy tales, sorry. Story tales. Girl, what are story tales? Whatever. Shirley from Charlotte Bronte. Not the biggest hit for me, but still nice. Agnes Grey from Anne Bronte. As you can tell, I have a thing for the Bronte sisters. A calendar from my grandma that I don't want to look at. And then from Emily Bronte, you guessed it, I have Wuthering Heights, My Love, My Life. And then, once again, a weird little journal that's not mine, but it's a very old book that I thrifted from a very famous writer of comedies back in our day. His name was Gianluca Caragiale. If you know, you know. Oops. Going strong, gonna keep this one as short as I can, as per usual. First off, we have Babel from R.F. Kuang. I got it 3 years ago. Technically, I got it for Christmas 3 years ago from my mom. I read it in 2 years, alternatively with other books. Gonna be very frank with you, it was lovely, but took me a long time. Still recommend it though. Six of Crows from Leigh Bardugo. I am pretty sure that's collector's edition. It's hardcover. It's lovely. Okay, and it's got painted pages. They're red. Yeah, I got it for Christmas from my mom. I just wanted the normal version. She was a freaking sweetheart and actually spared the money on it to get, you know, the good version with signature and all of that. It's really nice. It's, yeah, sorry. I get emotional about her. And I recommend the book. I should probably get to the rest of the books in the series. Oh, how dare I forget. I probably never mentioned this on my YouTube channel, but Sayaka Murata, yeah. She is great. Again, probably never talked about her. A little bit dark, a little bit, you know, vivid and raw and somewhat disgusting, but full of metaphors. Definitely something up my alley, basically. Solid reads. Where Reasons End. Really lovely, sad reading session. I would highly recommend it for autumn. It's a lot of grief. That's my 2 cents. Murakami. My hit and miss, really. So I have Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage, which I really liked. Normally I would also have Kafka on the Shore, but I've given it to my closest friend for him to read because he would love it. And then I've got Norwegian Wood, which if I could scratch my eyeballs out, I would while reading it. I'm sorry, that was very graphic. What we got next? Rough Silk. Rough Silk I got from my daughter. From my what? From my dad. Yeah. He got this book. I think it was written by a Kenyan lady. Please forgive me if I'm not saying that right. But yeah, it's apparently an ode to fatherhood and a beautiful tribute. Yeah. It was signed by the author because I think he went to the book signing thingy and the publishing event or something. I want to get into it. I promise. I promise it's going to be nice. I will review it. Plus, it's definitely a lesser known book. After that, we have A Home at the End of the World. It was gifted to me by someone. I still haven't gotten around to reading it. I am interested. I think it's going to be nice. Breasts and Eggs talked about her really nice experience of womanhood from 3 different perspectives: complex, beautiful, and raw. Donna Tartt, The Secret History. It was good. It was good because I was in a phase in which I really, really loved dark academia. I think it's the quintessential aesthetic book for that. Getting into a book I want to read, we have Pale Fire from Vladimir Nabokov. I wanted to get Lolita because one of you recommended it in the comments, but I didn't find it, and I found this one, and I read about it years prior, and I was interested and I forgot, so I got it. Who else we got next? We have Hesse. It's Steppenwolf, I think? Yeah, good book, depressive. It was lovely for me to read twice this autumn going into winter. If you're into existentialism, I think you might enjoy that a little bit. A little bit of a nihilistic person. I get you. I've got right here 2 history books, but I like my history to be a little sarcastic and have a little bit of sass. So I have An Utterly Impartial History of Britain and Courtesans and Fish Cakes from James Davidson. Up here I've got a book that I haven't read, which is called Simon from Nareen Abgarian. Sorry, I didn't remember the name. Stole it from my dad. Not really stole it, he gave it to me. Didn't get into it just yet. Then we have The Imposium that I said I would read, and I'm on my way to reading right next after the book that I'm reading right now, which is me rereading for the 3rd time Perfume by Patrick Suskind. I'm obsessed. Don't judge me. It's my favorite. It's such a sensorial book, I cannot stop reading it. Okay? Handmaid's Tale. Hands down, my favorite read of this year. I'm not counting this because I read it beforehand. This is hands down favorite book of all time. Then Joan Didion. We've got The Blue Nights and The White Album. Normally I would have The Year of Magical Thinking as well, but I actually gifted it to my grandma on my mom's side. I hope she's gonna like it. It was in Romanian. Let's hope she likes it. Let's hope she likes it. The incense that I lit is getting to me. Ooh. When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit. A really nice book that I found in a bookshop in France when I was in Paris. I wanted to go to that Shakespeare Company book store, and I didn't get to because it was so freaking crowded. It was insane. So I went to, I think, the Abbey shop. What was it? The Abbey bookshop, yeah. And this book had a post-it on it that said it was recommended by one of the workers, and I was like, okay, that's all I need to know. Okay. After that, fabulous. We have The Inseparables that I have recommended numerous times. Beautiful, self-discovery, coming of age, somewhat vintage feeling book with some philosophy and everything, and it's Simone de Beauvoir. I've talked about it before. The Catcher in the Rye. I read this, to my shame, I think I read this the first time this summer. I don't think it's a good summer read, not in the sense that I didn't enjoy it, I just think it would have been better in the autumn or now in the winter. Okay? Boy Parts, Eliza Clark. Got it off of TikTok because it was interesting. Solid read. Not necessarily what I would normally go for, but I did enjoy it. Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I have a complicated relationship with Sally Rooney in the sense that I've only read this one book and I don't know how I feel about it. It's, okay. You know? I really do need to speed run. So I have Vicious from V.E. Schwab. Really nice book on revenge, feelings of being a little bit of a mad scientist, animosity, and still somehow a coming of age story. Very nice. I was gonna say A Vengeful Story, but that's the second book in the series from Vicious. That's the first one. So probably should get onto that as well. Then we have Orphan Monster Spy from Matt Killen. Good book, probably. I wouldn't know because I didn't read it. I've had it for way too long. And it looks cool, but I just didn't read it. The Picture of Dorian Gray from Oscar Wilde. Phenomenal. Definitely in my top books list, probably number 2 or 3. I don't need to tell you. I'm just gonna shut up. You already know the whole drill if you know literature. Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky. I will be very honest with you, these two are both Dostoevsky. You've got The Idiot and Crime and Punishment. They took me a while. Yeah. Dostoevsky can take me a while. As in, they were read through a couple of months, both of them. Dark. Great for winter. I feel like a wizard. Anyhow, we have The Essential Kafka from Franz Kafka. I have only read Metamorphosis. I would really like to get into the rest, because I did enjoy Metamorphosis. Technically, I would put The Stranger by Albert Camus somewhere right here, but I only read it on a Kindle. But I would like to get it full paper form. I fear we enter classics territory anyhow, so I'm going to continue with Emma from Jane Austen. Really nice, really cozy. Not necessarily my favorite. I like Jane Austen for a very specific, cozy, springy mood. Plato's Republic. Is Plato's Republic? I will not comment. Yeah. John Milton, Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, right? Yes. Epic poem. Mythical. Myths and Legends of Ancient Greece and Rome. Okay, that's actually really nice. Ties back into that oldie. Beautiful. I cannot comment because I love any kind of mythology. I am a little bit too obsessed. Let's not get into that. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Lovely. Again, probably number 2 or 3. There's a huge tie between this and The Picture of Dorian Gray. It might actually... No, it takes The Picture of Dorian Gray. I'm lying to myself. It does. I think this is number 2. Virginia Woolf. We've got 3 books in a row, if you can tell I'm a fan. I'm the Vita of my times because I love that woman. Not really. So we have A Room of One's Own and another book that I didn't actually read that is put in the same book, which is called The Three Guineas. I don't know 3 guineas. Sorry. We've got The Waves and To the Lighthouse. They're all solid reads. I love Virginia Woolf in any context, so hit me up. The Call of the Wild from Jack London. It's something. It's something, and initially I got it because it looked pretty to me years and years ago when I was in my younger childlike years. Yeah, it's sweet. It's not a book I identify with by any means, but you shouldn't identify with your reads. And then, lo and behold, it's the Lord of the Rings series. I cannot recommend it enough. Let me shut up and let's get on. If you're wondering what the heck we're doing under my desk, here I have a couple of books. That is not a book, that's a photo album. That I don't really... They're not really my thing, but, or I just didn't have place for them anywhere. So this is the most miscellaneous random section. I have right here a book on writing fiction and science fiction, history book that I actually enjoy from a man that is over 100 years old and Romanian. I have a weird little dictionary for random knowledge, a book that my grandma gave me on resilience, didn't read it. Then I have Homo Sapiens from Yuval Noah Harari. I think I read it in high school. It was something. And then I have the Quran, don't ask me, a book on the mind versus the brain, a book on how to say no from my grandma. As you can tell, she really wants me to get into self-improvement. A book that I actually enjoyed and is self-improvement from my dad, which is The Courage to be Disliked. Robin Sharma, I think. Yeah, Who Will Cry When You Die? Thanks, Dad. As you can tell, my entire family is very into self-help books, and I seem to run away from them like the devil. Goddamn. Weird little book about high school kids from my grandma. Very weird. A book on love and marriage from my grandma. A guide for the tiny housewife. The little housewife, sorry. Thank you, Grandma. A book on makeup and putting on makeup. Thank you, Grandma. An commercial English guide that I should have probably looked through for my grandma. Didn't. And then a book on judo from my grandma. And then little secrets for big effects in the house. You know, because if you're a housewife, you want to make things look nice. Thank you. And then down, I just have a whole bunch of notebooks that we don't talk about. I have plenty. I should probably actually start reading to you some of my writings. I think I'm gonna do that for the next video, actually. So, keep up, keep up. Keep up. And finally, in comes the last section. We have the more modern sort of fantasy or high fantasy section that is actually a part of my wardrobe where I hold a whole bunch of gems. And, yeah. She is who she is. I want to get back into fiction and high fantasy and all of that really badly this year, so I'm looking into expanding this section a little bit. I don't know how. Probably in the back there. We're gonna start off with I Need to Bring This Out. It's a book I did not like. I've seen people review it here and there, and I got a lot of reactions when I went to college, and I put this book on the table, and two of the girls walked in, and they looked at it, and they were like, oh, you're gonna love this, it's great. I'm sorry, guys, I have disappointed you, but I'm not a fan. I just don't think it's the best. It was... I wouldn't reread it, and I wouldn't per se recommend it, okay? Sorry. Then we've got Percy Jackson books. They are freaking phenomenal. They're not the only two that I read, but they're the only two that I actually have. And, yeah, they've been great. I was introduced to the whole world of Percy Jackson by my middle school best friend, so... Actually, this whole section is kind of inspired by her, so shout out to you, girl. Lovely. Freaking lovely. I know that the only movies, the movie adaptations are basically just two, but I did watch the movies before I read the books. I think the books are far better. Far better. Then, as you can tell, I had an obsession with a whole spooks, the Wordstone Chronicles, that's what it's called, book series, written by Joseph Delaney. It was great. It was an obsession for me all throughout middle school and even a little bit of high school. So, yeah. I have the whole thing. Not in perfect order. I don't think I have every single one. I'm missing one or two for sure. Or even more now. Gonna move this agate. Romance, which you didn't expect on my side, neither did I, but it was gifted to me. It's Dash and Lily's book of dares. It's actually a nicely done, I would say, sweet love story, Christmassy. Would have been nice to read this whole period of time. You still can. But it's a very long distance, indirect, turns to direct kind of love story. You know, cute. Then we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is once again a bit more LGBTQ plus friendly, so if you're looking for that, I think it's really, really lovely. Probably the two lovey-dovey books that I actually genuinely read and enjoyed. So yeah. Oh, then we go into my emotional picks that I've only put there because I read them when I was really young. We have... I mean, this I didn't read when I was really, really young. I used to love the movie Nanny McPhee and The Big Bang. And Emma Thompson came out with a book that basically combines the stories from the set and the actual story that was written, if I'm not mistaken, by her. And pictures, which is lovely. So yeah, very emotional and nice pick. After that, we have, if I can get things out. Thank you. We have Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I took this from my grandma's place a good while ago because I really liked how it looked, and I knew there was a movie that I didn't watch. I didn't even watch it to this day. I read the book. Nice. Very nice. Cute little sci-fi for the youth. As you can tell, this was the beginning of my obsession with sarcastic, funny history coverage. The whole Horrible History series of books, I have it at my mom's, or I've listened to it on audiobook in middle school. Get into it. Get into it. It's funny and it's great. And lastly, this is a book that I should probably give back to my middle school best friend because she has borrowed this. I have borrowed this from her at the end of 8th grade. Right now, I am third year of college. So, I'm sorry, Mara. I promise to give this back to you the next time we see each other because it's been ages. Okay? From what I remember years and years ago, it was a nice read. I don't have much to complain. It was light, it was funky, it was kind of filled with action, so it was everything my brain needed at that time. I think with that, folks, oh no, I missed something. We also have this, which I call my nightstand. It's a makeshift nightstand, but it's basically my laundry basket with books that I'm reading currently on the top. I did finish this book, Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Sorry, let me just adjust you for 2 seconds. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it's a very, very unique and multilateral perspective of a bunch of Black women's lives through Britain, through time, through generations, through beautiful, beautiful discussion of so many questions and issues for humanity and society and the individual person. I loved it. And so, yeah. I forgot something. Be right back. I don't know how I dared to forget about this series of little black books from Penguin classics. I'm just gonna get into them very briefly and I'm gonna leave you alone, I promise. We have The Death of Ivan Ilyich, which was a really lovely read. Highly recommend for the colder seasons. Flush from Virginia Woolf, a very warm, cozy tale from the perspective of a dog. My freaking obsession, Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart. And not just that, I have read others. I highly recommend In the Autumn Blasting Your Mom with the poem recited on YouTube. The Raven. Quoth the Raven nevermore. And then we have Create Dangerously from Albert Camus. Something. Oscar Wilde, Only Dull People Are Brilliant at Breakfast. It's more of a collection of sayings sort of thing, not an actual book, if that makes sense. And then White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Probably one of those love stories that I actually do enjoy. Short, sweet, lovely. Could read it anytime. Thomas de Quincey, on Murder Considered as One of the Fine Arts. I don't really remember enjoying this, sorry. Friedrich Nietzsche, Aphorisms of Love and Hate. Again, same thing. Okay. A Nervous Breakdown by Anton Chekhov. It was something. I can't say I fully loved it. It was a read. The Book of Tea by Kazuko Ogakura. I haven't actually read that one. I haven't. I still have it right here, so I'm gonna let you know. And then My Life Has Stood a Loaded Gun by Emily Dickinson. I love Emily Dickinson. That's it. Thank you. I'm looking to get some paperbacks of books that I actually love, as you're gonna see. I have a lot of books that I've read, but I don't actually have in my collection. I am looking to get those throughout time, but I usually like to read them on Kindle first and then invest in the paperbacks to see if I actually like them. Because if it's not worth it, then I don't necessarily want to spend the buck. And with that, me and my pimple are gonna leave you off. We're gonna tell you we hope you have a really nice new year and you take care of yourself and you have fun. And yeah. Thank you for watching. Kisses. I don't know what else. Good luck, Charlie. See you in the next one.